your AGI. So backtracking income, minus a couple of things for AGI, minus your itemized or your standard, minus your exemptions. So you're further decreasing your income, right? And then you get to that line item of taxable income. So just to kind of put numbers there, 10,000 minus 1,000 minus 1,000 minus 1,000, you get to taxable income of like 7,000. So out of all those steps, you said you made 10,000 for the year, but you're getting only tax on 7,000. So that's the yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, I couldn't remember for the exemptions. If you get claimed by a parent, you cannot claim an exemption. Is that correct? I can't remember.
Correct.
Okay.
You can't claim exemption. I would always get confused with those before, like the standard deduction versus like exemption. I believe for the exemption, you can't claim yourself, right? But if you do get claimed, you do get a standard deduction. I think it's just like lower for them.
So you'd be like double dipping.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yes.
From your experience, what would you say would be some like common things we see in income from like students besides like wages and salaries? Like in particular, what comes into my head is like in FAFSA, there would be something that they include on their income.
That's I think probably related to like the education stuff. Is that what you're probably thinking about, or like the education stuff? Like I said, it's probably going to be more towards their parents, like the 1098T. So hopefully, if they have it printed out and you like see it, if they're under 24 or whatever, they can't even claim it because they would most likely be claimed by their parent. So just advise them like your parents will probably get that. Yeah.
I was saying, we got a lot of Uber stuff last year. Like, I forgot what the form was, but like people were coming in, oh, how do I file this? They worked out that Uber driver.
That's actually a good one that you brought up because like when we first started, I think when Uber was still getting there, like we had all these forms and like they're like an independent contractor or something.
Yeah.
Right? So and then their employer, that means do they get withholding one?
That's interesting.
They don't have withholdings.
They don't, right?
So it's like the like a 1099 miscellaneous almost.
I see. So do you remember the name of the form that they get from?
I think they do get the pink one.
1099 miscellaneous.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just a 1099 miscellaneous.
Yeah.
So with those of like that Uber, if you have Uber people, because exactly good thing you brought that up. I see a lot of those, and if, like you said, they don't get withholdings, you still have to report that. So under 21 is other income, right? So if you have nothing else that falls into wages, interest, Schedule D, you would have 1099 miscellaneous, either through Uber or something. Okay.
But they're going to have a bunch of expenses associated with that. So wouldn't we do like a Schedule C or something? Subtracting out all the mileage and gas and all that.
So did you guys have Schedule C's?
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, you're right. Oh. So that means, let's see, isn't there a form associated with their 1099 miscellaneous that they bring in, or no? They would just list out what their expenses are.
They just list it out. Oh, actually, it depends. I think we had clients that came in with Uber would actually give them the miles that they actually drove.
Oh.
Like they will give them like a letter indicating, okay, this is how many miles you drove for this year. So we used that one. But then some people, they said, oh, I didn't get it. I didn't receive anything like that. So you gotta take their word for it.
See, so then like, then they can deduct it, and they would have to report those to the 1099 miscellaneous, right? So hopefully, they do have those expenses, and if they do, then Schedule C is this. So you guys filled out like the Schedule C before, right, for the Uber drivers? Like,
Yeah.
have those on the top?
do.
So, for the, I guess, profession or product or service, what did you guys look for?
Oh, we put, we looked it up, we Googled it, and then it gave us like taxi. That's their
Taxi.
code.
Oh, that's the code, yeah, because there's like a code on section
For the
B
type
here.
of business.
For the type of business. Do you know the name of, like, you can Google it too.
Yeah, we just Googled it.
You can
It's in a
I-
book.
It's in the book too, yeah, exactly. If you have clients that have like Uber or a business on the side, I think on your book you can like find the business code, so you fill that part in, and there should be a general like definition or general phrase along with that, like taxi or transportation or whatever. Fill all of these out. Most likely, I'm guessing they would be doing the cash accounting method, like whenever they receive cash and paid out expenses. Let's see. Receipts. One thing, I think, for the Schedule C, I don't think you can do Schedule C if they have inventory, like cost of goods sold, like,
Was it gas that we put in? I think gas. Some people like actually, what do you call this?
It's
They
an
log
automobile
their
expense.
Yeah, I think
their
there's.
gas.
right. Oh, sorry, yeah, I was just doing on a tangent on the side note. If you do have like a client that says, hey, I sell stuff, you can't do the tax return, just as an aside for cost of goods sold. But yes, yeah, circling back to Uber. So car and truck expenses, so are you saying like gas would be over here?
Yeah, you know, I have a question on that one.
Yeah.
Some of them are trying to claim maintenance.
Yeah.
Is that part of it?
So what I would
Yeah.
do,
Oh, there's another line, repairs and maintenance.
Some of them, we had a client claiming car wash.
accident.
Yeah.
And then you gotta let your car live nice, right?
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
counts. Because some people do like, they do the cleaning too for their cars. So it counts as a tax assessment.
As the cost of goods sold?
So
Not cost of goods sold, but it would be counted as an expense.
Yeah. See, the thing is, that's why I like to know either there's like a proportion that you would use, because you know, like when you think about it, you don't use your car all the time for work, right?
Yeah.
You would use it like to drive to school, to drive to work, like other things. So I'm not sure if there's like a calculation that the software would do, or a proportion, like ask for like their total mileage over. So I think that's what you guys were saying before. If Uber gives you, like, hey, you had 20,000, miles that you did for us, and like your total, mileage for the year is like 80,000 or something like that. So that means you would think 1/4 of the year is related to Uber, right? And unless the taxpayers specifically say like these, expenses are 100% to Uber or to my driving whatever business, then I'm thinking they're giving you whole year numbers, right? Like I spent this amount on gas for the whole year. Like how can you divide out gas just related to Uber, right? I would see if I could like do a calculation on the side or something. Like if they spent that much on car washes, then 1/4 of that would be deductible, or 1/4 would be deductible on like maintenance, because that maintenance doesn't just benefit Uber; it benefits you personally. So 1/4 of that would be deductible. Yep.
Yeah. I was going to ask, so which ones are part of cost of goods sold, and which one is part of expense? So.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So I was probably going on a tangent for cost of goods sold, just as an aside, but related to Uber, there's probably nothing.
Everything's gonna be
Yeah.
expense.
Yeah, I was just saying like if.
Because
you
it's a
know-
service. I think that's for the people who have their businesses like on the side and they're actually selling things.
Yeah. If, yeah.
I was gonna say cost of goods sold would be more like inventory or stuff that's capitalized on your balance sheet and then like expensed out later. Whereas like expenses is kind of just income expenses. Like if you thought your income statement, that would be just the operating expenses of your business.
Were you saying if when the client sells things, or we can't do their, like if they sold clothes on the house, we can't do their
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just as an aside, besides this Uber example, because I had a client come in before and saying, like, I think he was like a nurse, and so he had like stocks of uniforms that he would sling on the back of his like truck or something. And this was my bad before because like I didn't like fully like understand all this stuff, but like I was in the middle of his tax return and we're doing Schedule C on his income. He's like, hey, I made money on the side and I sold stuff. I was like, oh yeah, cool, okay, typing it in. And I get there, I was like, oh crap, like, cost of goods sold. Sorry man, I can't do your return. And like, luckily, he was very kind about it. He's like, oh no, I understand. But just know that if you do have someone who like sells things on the site, like a physical product, they would want to claim that, right? So if you had $500 of profit, like, number one. Yeah, you do. Yeah. So number one, if the guy said, hey, I made $500 selling these, uniforms, and I purchased them from somewhere for $200, and so essentially you had like 500 minus 200, 300, right? But you have to backtrack and say, wait, like I remember reading from my VITA guide, I can't claim cost of goods sold. So just know that if you do have someone come in saying like I sold stuff, and do the tax return. So they have you got two choices. Either, not claim that income. I wouldn't suggest putting ideas to the client. And that's another thing. Like, I wouldn't be putting professional advice. So if they ask you for an opinion on things, I think as VITA preparers, you're not legally like able to do that. So if they ask you for say, that's why I asked if you guys were tax preparers on the side. If they try to like ask you, hey, can I just get my taxes done with you? You cannot solicit business either from the clients. But yeah, they're not able to, like, I guess, claim. But that's on them. Like you were saying before, it's not your responsibility. Like you can only do as much as like you can as a tax preparer. And I mean, we'll kind of touch on it later, but on the second half of your 1040, like they have to sign, right? And the last thing I would say to the clients are like, this is your tax return, prepared with all the information that you gave us, just to remind you that you are legally like liable for any missteps or whatever, like numbers that are off, or just in general, like, you're responsible. Because you don't want these people coming back in and saying like, I gave it to you, you're responsible, you did it, and you're like, well, damn, like I'm doing this free service for you, like why am I getting all this like crap from people? Because I've had people come to me, they're like, man, like I came to you, I trusted you. And I'm like, thank you for your trust, but like just know that you are still legally responsible. We are just like the intermediaries. We just prepare this for you. So just remind them again at the bottom, like this return is fresh to you by us. Like please just make sure, kind of review, let them review the tax return and say like, do these numbers look right?
And to read it to them, read them that closing statement, and then have them sign it.
Exactly. I think it's actually like an actual requirement to have it read. And not to scare you guys, but there's sometimes like these IRS people that come in like as a secret shopper, whatever. So please follow these rules. Like don't just be like, oh, it's just them, student, no one's gonna know. But we do have IRS people kind of check in and they'll see the processes put in place. Are you guys greeting the clients? Are you guys checking if they have all the documents? Are you guys doing out-of-scope returns? Are you guys reading the last line? You guys are responsible for your tax return, whatever. So please make sure to follow those procedures. I think like you guys have like a set checklist anyways to send out. So again, I know admin can be like a pain, but it's super important. But, yeah.
So all of the expenses that the client claim to us, like for example, like advertising or car expenses,
Yeah.
do we need the receipts from them, like get proof that spend, or we just like believe what they said in the system?
I think in most instances, the 54 cents a mile exceeds any expenses that they have. And you might want to ask them, do you think it exceeds whatever 20,000 miles times 54 cents miles, do you think your expenses exceed that and go from there? Might be easier.
Is it? Okay.
Only because all those expenses then you have to calculate out based on the total mileage. In our instance, the 54 cents a mile way exceeds our actual expenses.
It exceeds. So, yeah, I would probably do that then. If they're 54 times, what is it, 30 mileage?
Yeah, so you get a statement from Uber or whatever, it says you drove 2,000 miles, your deduction was at 54 cents a mile for your expense. And, you know, gas expense and, you know, repair and advertising or anything.
Yeah.
Even car washes. It doesn't add up, so. You get a
That's benefit
way better.
by doing that. Is that Kyla? Kyla? Yeah. Did you guys see like, cause she was saying like, say if they had the 54 cents a mile, like that would be, you know, probably more advantageous than calculating all these expenses out.
For tax wars, I'm not sure for tax layer. Cause for tax layer, I only did foreign tax return. I haven't done like a regular 1040. But for tax wise, we were asked like they gave us a standard calculation.
Okay.
A standard what was that? Gas mileage.
Oh, okay, the standard rate?
Yeah, standard rate there.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure they will give us that.
Okay. And just translating it to the software, as long as they have like all their information and like that mileage, as long as you kind of like input it and you see the questionnaire, I'm sure it will just calculate it for you instead of you just doing it by yourself.
Yeah, it'll automatically populate. You just need to put in like the miles and then.
Got it. Just as long as they're like your clients come in with all the information. So just knowing and being aware, like, okay, do you have all this information so you can receive that benefit? Because you don't want to be shooting in the dark and they're just throwing numbers at you and you see like there's nothing that they have in front of them. Like,
Yeah.
I know you can only go so far with what they have, but like even then it'd be kind of iffy just taking information from just off the top of their heads.
It's always going back to, you know, like if they're gonna get audited, they need to know they need to have the information present, you know, because then how else are they gonna prove that they had that much expenses?
Exactly, because if you do get audited, even like say for charity contributions, because those are some of the things that they look at. If they have the receipts, you know, all fine and well. But like as long as you remind them, like, hey, just as an aside, just make sure you have these documents ready, just in case. I'm not saying by the we have a lot of audited returns, but like just on a nice note, like let them know lightly.
So what would you do? Let's say a client came in, no documents with no like those kind of documents. They didn't have anything. Everything's like on their thing, like, oh, I made my car. What would you do?
I mean, I don't know if I would send it back home, but like I would first identify it in the interview, like when you're doing the intake sheet, and kind of have them write it out. Because I feel like weird if they just talk to me, like just without anything. I want to see them pull up, maybe if they kept track on their phone, if they had some paperwork from somewhere else. But if they're just talking, I would just say, maybe if you have the documents and they say they do, kind of like.
What if they say they don't have it? Like they didn't log it.
They didn't log it.
Well, I know, I would say like, when we were doing American Opportunity Credit, we would always remind the client, like, we're doing these estimates based on like their book estimates, like on you, but you want to make sure that you have documentation to support it because audits can occur randomly within 10 years. So we would just say it's going to come back to you, like, we're going to go based on the information you gave us, make sure you have documents to support their information. That's what we would tell them regarding the credit, like
American
education
Opportunity
credits. I don't know if that would apply with Uber stuff, like, kind of.
I think it would apply, like just say around the same lines. Like, I can't say like, oh, you're lying, you can't do that. But if they earnestly and honestly say that, then I guess you could, document it on your interview sheet. Use it as like your notes, write it on the back of it, and kind of write down what the client says. And then just go from there. I know I'd feel kind of weird about it, but it's not like our place to kind of question them. If they do say they have documentation and they're just kind of talking out of their mind, then, as long as you yourself write it down as a note on the intake sheet, But only if it sounds reasonable. If they're just putting numbers out there, tell them to come back. But if it sounds around the same range as the other returns that you've been doing, then I would go ahead.
Might be able to look up like average Uber driver expenses on Google or something too. Just take a percentage off of that.
Oh, that is reasonable. If they do, if they're around the same. I would look up stuff. And yeah, use other tax returns to kind of look back on. If you see other people who've been doing Uber, then yeah, Google or refer back. I think it's only been an hour. I want to give you guys a little break. So I'll be up here. You guys can take a 15-minute break, so around like 11:15 or so, or 11:20, because it's 11:05.